If you've spent a significant or honestly insignificant amount of time watching this channel over the years, and you probably have me figured out. You know what I like. You know I like drippy, surfy, springy reverbs. And if you've watched this channel enough, then you've probably figured out, you've probably heard me say that SurfyBear, Surfy Industries, makes the best representation of a surfy, drippy, springy reverb. Well, this video isn't going to be about this reverb, the SurfyBear Metal. And it's not going to be about the SurfyBear Compact. And it's not going to be about the first SurfyBear I ever had, which was a kit. They started out as a kit that you would order that was a tiny little circuit board I have mounted in there, where you populate your own knobs and you find your own reverb pan and power supply, and you put it in a box of your own choosing. I chose a Harbor Freight toolbox, which has worked out perfectly. This video is gonna be about not just the SurfyBear 3.0, which I have on the desk in front of me, but the reverb pan within, because they have a new reverb pan. SurfyBear, Surfy Industries, has been working with Accutronics to make their own reverb pans to more closely recapture the vibe and the sounds and what's the word I'm looking for? The performance of original vintage surfy, springy reverb pans that you would find in Fender 6G15 outboard spring reverb units, like the one I have back there. That one's not vintage, it's a reissue, but you get the point, right? So anyways, inside of the SurfyBear Metal, I have the original Surfy pan, and inside of the Surfy Industries SurfyBear 3.0, I've got the new Surfy Pan Extra. And if you're wondering what the extra means, if it means extra reverb, extra trails, no. It doesn't. It actually means less reverb. It means less trail length on that reverb, which means more drip. That's really the math we're working with here today. The Surfy Pan Extra promises to deliver more drip by delivering less reverb. What does that mean? Hopefully we can explore that and discover it together. I'm going to run the SurfyBear 3.0 through its paces, and then I'm gonna crack open the SurfyBear Metal and take out the pan, and we'll do some swippy swappies with the pan in here to see if we can tell a difference. I'm expecting each pan to sound excellent, but I am curious to hear if there is a difference between the Surfy Pan Original and the Surfy Pan Extra. So anyways, let's take a look at the 3.0 here. This is the unit they produce that is meant to most closely represent the experience of using a Fender outboard 6G15 reverb unit. It's got a wood case. It has 3 knobs where the metal has a 4th volume knob, which I find very modern and very convenient to find unity when I turn it on and off. It also has an on and off switch right there, which is very convenient. This can be part of your pedal board. It can be a spring reverb that is also a pedal board riser, because you can definitely fit boss-sized pedals across the top part here. So that I consider to be the ultimate like pedal board friendly reverb unit, where this is meant to be like a leave it on top of an amp or on the floor in front of you so you can kick it sort of thing. It even uses an external 1-button Fender style foot switch to turn it on and off, because when you turn off the power here, you lose your signal. It really is meant to be a direct representation of the real thing. Some other things about the 3.0, they have adjusted the power preferences of this unit so that it can take a wider variety of power supplies. I'm running it off the power supply they supplied with this pedal, but it can run off of apparently any 12 volt. Any 12 volt power supply. I don't know what the milliamps are. I'll flash it up on screen if I can find that information. But I've run it off of power bricks. I've run it off of, you know, like just cheap power bricks that you would get from, I've got like an Azor on the table right here. I ran it off of that. It ran just fine. So yeah, the other units, they require special power. They have updated the 3.0 to be a little bit more power friendly. But another thing is that because it is trying so hard to be that, to be a representation of what you experience when you're using a Fender outboard spring reverb unit, it has some of its quirks too. I'm running it through a loop pedal that has a buffer to get the volume up. Traditionally, with the Fender circuit, it's quieter. You don't get as much output out of it. I like to push my amps a little bit harder with my spring reverb, so I'm using a buffer to get the volume up. I'll demonstrate the difference between those two sounds as I go. What else? No true bypass here. No true bypass there either. That's not what you get. It is meant to sit in the signal the exact same way as the Fender unit. So let's get started. I'm going to be using my Fender, what's it called again? What's the model name of this? The Player 2. The Fender Player 2 Jaguar, which I've had for what, 2 or 3 months, and I've already cosmetically modified it to make it my own. I also need to let you know that in this video, I'm going to be running into the 2 Princeton's rig. It's always special to be in the presence of royalty, isn't it? So anyways, here is my dry signal, completely unreverberated. And here it is, reverberated by the SurfyBear 3.0. What should I start with? I'm on the middle position. I might as well gliss, right? Bridge position for some Dick Dale sounds. Neck position, a little bit of Astronauts maybe. It just sounds right. I've just been playing. I got caught in it. I'm having a great time. There's really no comparison. I've got a bunch of digital pedals and modern products that get me in the territory of that surfy trip, that surfy sound. But nothing responds like the real thing. And SurfyBears are the real thing. And that's it. That's the surf sound right there. Can't stop playing. I just keep falling into riffing and goofing around and having a good time with that drip. This is like the worst demo ever because I'm not actually giving you a lot of information. I'm just sitting here playing, right? A lot of times I get people asking, I get people emailing me and private messaging me on all sorts of different parts of social media, asking me how they can take what they have and make it drip. Like, oh, I've got this amp. If I change the pan, will it drip? Oh, I've got this other reverb unit. I've got this other pedal. What settings do I need to make it drip? There are, in my opinion, 3 elements, 3 ingredients in the recipe for drip. First of all, you have to have the right circuit. Everyone thinks it's all just the spring pan. No, you have to have the right circuit. Taking the pan out of here and putting it into an amp, it will have a difference. It will sound different, but it will not sound the same as this because of the circuit. You need to have the same circuit or similar circuit to the Fender outboard spring reverb unit, the 6G15 circuit. And then obviously you need the correct pan. You need a pan that is built for that drip. So the pan and the circuit work together very closely to produce that classic drip. And if you don't have the circuit and you don't have the pan together, you're not gonna get that iconic sound. You might be able to get a drip, but it's not gonna be that sort of surfy drip. The third thing is your playing style. You have to play to the drip. And what do I mean by that? I mean palm muting. It's really not that hard. Like, it's one of the big reasons why I started doing demo videos forever ago is because I was starting a surf band and I was exploring all the different modern options, all the different modern reverbs that were out there, all the pedals and things like that. And I was watching demos and no one would do the most simple thing to show if a pedal had drip or not. And all it is palm muting. Just palm mute like a low E and there it is. That's all I ever wanted anyone to do in a demo video. And then I ended up making my own demo videos and completely changing my career because no one would just that's really it. The circuit plus the right pan plus the right playing style. That's how you drip. And everything else is like, maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe you'll find something where you like the drip of it. But if you're looking for that classic Southern California, mid-century, like drippy, surfy, springy reverb sound, there is a recipe. There is a set recipe, and SurfyBear Surfy Industries does an excellent job of honoring the 2 main parts of that recipe. So let's start twisting knobs. Now that I've just been sitting here just jamming, just wasting everybody's time. Okay, so first of all, you've got a tone control. It's really pretty common to leave reverb units set up pretty much just like this. 777. Some people might want to goose the tone a little bit. Or roll it back. You kind of lose the drip there, don't you? You lose the splash. Well, I like what happens right about 8. Try that on the bridge position. Then you've got the mixer. This is your wet mix. See, nothing going on there. And then you've got the dwell. This is the length of the trail. Or the strength of the trail. It does sound like it accentuates that drip as you turn it up. And that's really where the Surfy Pan Extra is supposed to be doing its heavy lifting. It's supposed to allow you to turn that dwell up further without your signal being overtaken by just cavernous, long reverb trails. It gives you that accentuated drip without getting overwhelmed. I mean, that's a really strong drip. Try it on the neck pickup. Middle position. Turn it back down to 7. I mean, there's more than enough drip on 7. There's drip on 6. Feels like the drip starts around 5. Tone's getting a little spicy there, so we'll turn that down to 7. Then all the way up. What a bunch of ridiculous noise, right? Oh man. But yeah, I haven't found a digital pedal. A conventional pedal that fully captures that. There's some that get close. There's some that give you a drip. There's some that give you that springy, bright character. But I haven't found any that go all the way. That gets you all the way there. So anyways, let's start unscrewing these things and seeing if I can swap pans around. I've never taken this one open before. Let's power it down to avoid any accidents. I'll take the plugs out as well. Mute the amps for the time being. So this should be pretty straightforward. It should be a pan connected to the circuit with 2 RCA plugs like you would use to connect your camcorder to your television in 1999. Well, it's missing the video connection, obviously. It's got your left and right audio. So it'll be red and white, no yellow. There we go. There is our pan. As you can see, it is wood construction, MDF. Oh, there's a strip of real wood down here. Looks like a 1 by 1.5 or something like that, or a 2 by 1. So there is real wood involved here. Surfy Pan Extra by Accutronics and Belton. The original Fender pans were Gibbs pans made by Hammond. Another fun detail is that I like that they have made this custom metal side that's got the logo on there and the 12-volt jack on the side as well. So what's gonna be the best way of doing this? Oh, good. Good, I don't have to get extenders on these cables at all. All right, let's take out the standard Surfy pan from the SurfyBear metal. There we go. It is surgery time. How am I going to test this? I'm going to have to do some comparison clips, right? Let's do just the drip, just a low E palm muted. That should be pretty consistent. And then I'll do a little bit of playing. I'll let a chord ring out. How about that? I know I muted the chord, but that's the point. To hear the trail, how long it is. All right, let's swap them. Okay, so this is the original Surfy pan. Here is that low E palm mute. I mean, this is all based on my memory of what just rang out in my ears, but it sounds a little bit darker, and the trail does sound longer to me. Here is that muted A minor. Might as well glitz, right? All right, let's go back. I'm probably not going to be able to actually tell the difference until I'm editing, until I can do the side by side, which is when you'll be able to hear it too, right? It sounds brighter to me, and that trail does feel more choked. I've got a couple other pans stored inside of my my kit unit here. Might as well just make this a big old pan shootout, right? So this is an Accutronics 4AB3C1B, which is a pretty standard reverb pan to find in outboard style spring reverb units. Or in amplifiers, possibly like the twin reverb. Fender uses long 2-spring pans like this in various amplifiers. Oh yeah. Oh, immediately I can hear that the trail is way longer. Yeah, that goes on forever. So yeah, if you want that strong drip, I'd say that the drip isn't even as strong. But to get that drip, you have to deal with a lot of trail on top of it. So if you know, if you're a drip specialist, yeah. One of the Surfy pans, I think either of the Surfy pans, I think sounds better than this stock Accutronics. I do have a mod pan here because years ago I was curious to hear what a mod pan would sound like in my Fender unit. And the consensus was that the Accutronics sounds better. Man, I might need to order a replacement pan for the Fender unit because I have an Accutronics in there. I replaced it, I think like 4 years ago, but with one of these or similar. I think it was the A version. Could be way off on that. I don't remember. All right, now for the mod pan. Oh yeah, that's dark. That's a different sound. Did I do something wrong? It sounds broken almost. I don't think it likes that pan, and I don't like it either. There's like a distortion going on. And it's just real dark too. Well, it's either broken or incompatible. Reverb pans are actually like a really fun and not expensive way to explore the possibilities of the reverb in your amp. If you've got an amp that uses pans, it's not digital. If you can do the math to figure out how to match impedance and ohms and things like that and figure out what will work with your amplifier, because not everything is plug and play ready to go. But if you can figure all that out, I did the work years ago to try to figure it out for some amp that I wanted to change the pan in. It's not expensive to swap pans. I'm sure SurfyBear is charging more than you would normally pay for their pans versus you know, an Accutronics pan or even a mod pan off of Amazon or eBay or whatever, because they're making a specialty pan that I'm sure gets manufactured in lower numbers, and they have to have their profit margin as well as Accutronics. But yeah, if you want to experiment with just off the shelf pans, like they're not expensive. They're like 30, 40 bucks or something like that. But I do gotta say, like the two Surfy pans do sound way better than that Accutronics pan. Obviously that mod pan was a fail. Something's wrong with it. It doesn't like this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to order another pan from them to throw into the Fender unit. And maybe even update the pan in my toolbox reverb here. Even that, like, I've got this ridiculous collection now. I've got more spring reverbs than anyone ever needs. But being able to hear a clear and immediate difference, like these two, the two Surfy pans, they're in the same family. I can cork sniff and be like, oh, one's a little brighter, one's a little drippier, but they're in the same family of sounding like very authentically Surfy. We're not so much with that Accutronics. It's too much. The drip is too pulled back, and there's too much trail where these are voiced correctly. I don't know if I would go with the extra or the standard in the Fender unit. That's something, that could be another video where I experiment and figure out which one I prefer in a tube reverb unit. Because I just got it, and I've been having fun and getting to know it, I want to play out with the Fender American Ultra 2 Stratocaster. That Jaguar is great, but I've got the bridge pickup split right now. That's instant Dick Dale. That's it right there. And I don't even have heavy strings on this yet. This is the stock 9s it came with. It needs, I mean, if I'm going to do Dick Dale, it needs 13s. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put 10.5s on here eventually. Maybe 11s. I don't go as heavy as Dick did. yeah, you need that heavier push to kind of roll your pick off of to really get that Dick Dale feel. I want to hear how that sounds through the other pan now. That was the Surfy Pan Extra. Here is the standard Surfy Pan. I don't know. I think the Surfy Pan Extra does have some extra magic to it. Like the bounce back of that drip, even though I'm not palm muting while I'm doing the Dick Dale stuff, the bounce back feels more correct. That's very interesting. It's such a subtle difference that like only like the cork snifferiest of spring reverb enthusiasts would ever notice. But that's me. And maybe it's you. If you're gonna make decisions about your rig, might as well make decisions, right? Might as well listen to the differences and decide which you prefer. Yeah, I can feel it. It's like the shorter trail and just how pronounced that drip is. I can feel pushing against it with my playing. And that's honestly like a big difference in between the real thing and a lot of the digital solutions out there. They can sound great. You can get a drip out of them. It's really hard to get that feel, that response. It feels like it's pushing back and playing against your dynamics to get that, you know, that classic Dick Dale sort of sound. I mean, you can do slower stuff like... That mix is rich, but you get the point. You can do slower stuff like that with pedals and get most of the way there, but there's something about that that feels different with the real thing. It feels better. That's it, right? Yeah, that's the Surfy Pan Extra. All right, let's grab the bass 6, lay down some sort of little riff with the looper, and just have some fun playing out. How about that? Before I start jamming over this little bass 6 loop that I put together, I gotta thank some people. Huge thanks to Surfy Industries for sending me the SurfyBear 3.0, including the Surfy Pan Extra. This sort of video, this is for me. It's great if you guys get something out of it, but like, this is why I make videos, because of spring reverb, because of my own personal tastes in drippy, surfy, springy reverb. So SurfyBear, you know I love you. Everyone else, you know I love SurfyBear. Thanks for making it to the very end of the video. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude, nasty comments, support us on Patreon, buy a shirt if you're naked, and stay grounded.